Okay, folks, we are back in Mountain City, Tennessee. Beautiful place here, Karen.
Yes, it is.
And man, are we having a great time this time. You guys responded to the last video in a big way. Over 150,000 views. And this is Mr. Tim Payne. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, you're welcome. And he is the owner of Locals Deli. See the building right behind us?
Right there.
Yeah. He gave us a lot of information last time, but we didn't get to go upstairs, and there's so much we missed out on. So this video, that's what we're going to do. You're going to take us inside.
I'm going to take you inside up on the second floor, talk about the second floor on the right-hand side and the second and third floors on the left-hand side.
Because there's a lot of history.
Yes, sir. Going back to 1854 when it was first built.
Okay.
Wow.
My building was built in 1854, one part of it, and the other part is 1878, okay, by Matthias Matheson. Okay, he found his father helped found Maymead down the road from here. He wrote King George for the grant. He came and they laid off the town of, actually not Mountain City at the time, it was Taylorsville, Tennessee. It was Taylorsville, Tennessee till 1886.
But we're looking at actually two buildings behind us.
Yes.
So the building to the left, the date on it is
1854.
the one on the right.
It's 1878. Fun thing about the exterior, I mentioned in the last video, if you go back and look at it, the last video, the bricks were handmade on site and there's no Portland cement used in the building of the brick. So it's a limestone sand mix. So that's a key portion when you go look at the building and come by to observe it, you see some deterioration because it's a soft mix.
Yeah. So we got some surprises for you upstairs in this building. You want to stick around. You might not believe what was up there at one time. You ready to go?
Yes, we're ready to go. Let's go upstairs.
All right, y'all come along with us.
Tim, there was a downstairs over here, wasn't
Yes,
there?
sir. There was a downstairs on the left-hand side. You had to go down 2 steps, turn right here, and go down the steps to the barber shop. Then it later became a clothing store downstairs.
Right over here, yeah.
Right around the steps.
I just love the storefront here. The old sandwiches, candy, cigars, perfumes, films.
Oh, look, they have jackets, Mike.
Oh no.
Shirts that are jackets. He cracks up at that term. Jackets.
Jacket. Now, hey, Mike,
yes.
You and Karen be interested to know that this door didn't exist. It did exist originally, and then they took it out because it used to be when it was the pharmacy in here. It was actually a smoke shop. You could buy cigars here at the building, then come over here on this side of the building and smoke them. And then upstairs, even in one of the bathrooms we'll look at, was written on the wall at one point. It said, "Ladies, wash your hands before you return to the smoke shop."
Oh wow.
So it's sort of like a cigar lounge.
Yes, it was a cigar lounge back in its day in the 50s, 60s.
And you got some neat pictures hanging around. We'll come back down in a minute and show all that, but I'll just pan around. We got all kinds of different sandwiches. And if it's okay with you, we may eat lunch with you.
That's fine with me. You come more than happy to eat lunch.
Okay. Yeah, you can see the two sides of the building here. Chestnut.
Chestnut before it became wormy chestnut, before the blight hit.
Beautiful floors.
And Tim's beautiful wife said she would wave at the camera.
Where's she
She's
at?
right over
She said,
there.
Oh, hey. But you still got a lot of the books and
I've got the original ledger from the building. Right here, the original ledger from 1858 to 1874. After this,
look at this guy. Ooh, he's got his hat on.
One of my customers brought it in, and he brought in the pumpkin where he molded it. I thought it'd be a great addition to the place. Look at the calligraphy, Mike, in the book.
Oh my goodness.
Where after the Civil War, Mr. Wagner loaned people, let them buy stuff on credit, and they paid it back after the Civil War. And this book goes from 1858 to 1874.
Well, what's the earliest recording you got in there?
That's page 68, 1860.
Look at that.
That's
And
crazy.
can you tell what it was for? It's hard, isn't it?
I don't know, but it's fun to look at this
Oh, I bet so. Yeah, yeah.
and look, see what all they purchased. Here's 2 plugs of tobacco.
Here's bacon.
Here's bacon.
And how much was bacon in 1866?
Looks like two something 644.
You got 2 of them?
It must have been something big.
Yeah.
2 bushels of corn, $1.
Uh-huh.
11.5 pounds of bacon.
And 2 something of, is that beans?
Yep. Yes.
So all that was only 644.
There's a quarter pound of baking soda.
Wow.
Show how they paid it in different. It goes through different areas, different people. If people come in, they're from around here, Mike. We have taken the time to categorize everything by name, and we know the date. If you come in and say my great grandpa was such and such, we'll look him up to see if he had actually purchased something on account.
Gives them a little bit of family history.
No, I tell you something. It goes back a long ways around here.
So this is all the same thing all the way through.
All the way
And it
through.
ends when?
In 1878, when Mr. Wagner sold it to his son Noah, and he bought the books. He bought everybody's charge accounts. He paid for it, so the sons that built the building could start off fresh, and they couldn't go back and collect on anybody.
And so people would pay up at the end of the month?
They pay up at different times a year. I
Okay.
have my grandpa actually came in and showed where he paid off 50 cents. He worked off 50 cents a week back in that day to pay his debt off.
Just
Okay.
working inside.
Just working in here, working in the store.
And it could be when the crops were sold,
Sold
they
and
would come and
everything.
pay.
Yes. And that's a lot to do with it when they had their money, when their crops came in, they could cash it in and get their
Yeah.
bulk of their money and pay. But yeah, this was actually found, funny thing, was in an estate and was going to the dump. And the dump man saw it, took it to our county historian
Oh my.
and said, hey,
Glad that somebody saved it.
and brought it to him and said, hey, you might want, the county historian took it to the county mayor and said, hey, this is something, a piece of history you might want to save. And when I purchased the building, we were going through records, found it in there, and they allowed me to have it for my store.
That's great.
That's another piece of facts to look at.
That is great.
And
Oh,
the funny thing
interesting.
about the front of my building, it looks the same as it did in 1914 by that picture here on the middle picture on the wall.
Yeah, now that you've opened the windows up and done,
Yes, I opened it back up, and funny thing is, I opened it back up and redid the front like I thought it should look. And then about 2 months later, the president of the bank walked over and said, "Here you go. I have a photo that you need to see," and that's the photo I took and blew up, and that's what it looked like in 1914. So I didn't miss it too much. Yeah, let's go take a minute. It's a little rough going up steps, Mike and Karen, so be careful.
okay.
Oh, it's a great town. I lived in Southport for 12 years. 5 steps, Mike. Solid oak.
No,
Solid
these
oak
are
steps.
original.
Yes, this is all original.
What's this?
Look at that.
You can tell by the old banister it's original.
Oh yeah, we want to check the banister out.
You gotta realize, Mike, it's under construction up here. Not too many people come up because I've got it under construction. But I had to show you my great views up here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's look at the windows right here. When I purchased the building, it had a metal front on the front of it, and it like a metal facade like across the street. Because Rexall came in the '60s, wanted to be a corporate. And so they put the metal facade that covered up all these windows. And the windows you see outside with all the writings on it were covered up in the 40s. And no one's seen them since the 40s.
Till now.
Wow.
Till now. Till about a year ago.
Nice view.
That's a great view.
The mountains back there.
Our little town.
You say this is under construction. Is it going to be more parts of the store?
So it's under construction. What's going to happen is I'm going to turn this into an e-commerce space. It's going to make offices where they can rent by the month, or office space they can rent by the day. This building, it was confirmed at the turn of the century, was a brothel.
Oh yeah.
It was a brothel. So what's funny about it, when I go to reconstruct it, there's no outlets in any of the rooms. They had lights, but no outlets.
Really?
As you go through. So it had some of the original lights. I've taken them out. I'm upgrading it, of course, but I'm leaving the rooms like it was with the transients over top of each of the doors. And there's the original doors, a little sawdusty. Other than a brothel, I'll show you the madam's room, and then I'll show you the main room in the back. But there's another story about the back room back here you'll like.
Okay.
I've got a bathroom over here. Like I said, it's under construction, but the bathroom interesting part is, when's the last time you've seen a galvanized steel shower?
Wow.
Galvanized metal on the shower.
Mm-hmm. How interesting.
And the parts of the commode, there's another one on the other side as well that has the copper fittings inside. It doesn't have plastic stuff inside the tube, inside the bowl.
Yeah.
So, interesting. So, and this is where they had to wash their hands before returning to the shop room.
Oh, they had it. It's up there?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
All employees must wash hands before returning, and it's actually downstairs to the smoke shop.
That brick. And then the plaster.
And the chimney, Mike, you'll notice the chimneys are built-ins. They're built into the walls because they don't extrude the outside of the walls. They come on the inside of the walls.
Oh, it is interesting, isn't it?
You'll see that some more because the walls are 16 inches thick, like I said last time. But now the chimneys are on the outside, on the inside of the building. Let me show you this room in here. Like I said, it's rough, but since the viewers want to see it right now in this date, I hope you'll come back to see when it's done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, in this room, I call it the meeting room, but also in the 40s, 50s, and possibly 60s, it was the dentist office. The dentist office had his built-in cabinets over here, Mike.
Oh yeah.
He had his built-in cabinets, and there's some stories I've heard. I know the dentist that was in here by name, and some of his patients said that was probably the hardest experience they've had in their lives.
Oh my
Come up
goodness.
here because they remember to this day coming back to this room, getting their tooth pulled, or getting a filling filled in their teeth. Notice the 10-foot windows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're boarded up right now, but that's a 10-foot by 3-foot wide window over on the side. But this is two interesting facts. It could Madam's room and this room were their lounge, or then the dentist office was here. But then his built-in cabinets. Let me see if I can open up one of these over here for you. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They built them right into the wall. Original wallpaper still stands. So you're in
The
business.
original wallpaper. Look at that. That's where he kept, I guess, all of his.
And you'll notice the wallpaper on the walls. What they had to do is they didn't have stucco back in the day when they plastered these walls. So since it was a limestone sand mix, they had to put wallpaper or muslin. I mentioned that in the last video to hold it. That was their form of sheetrock.
Yeah.
When they plastered, then they put this over. That's why it's peeling off. It was wallpaper.
Yeah, interesting. We've seen a lot of old cabins that we videoed where they use newspaper.
Okay.
You know.
I like it.
The ceiling is.
Tongue and groove all the way across.
Okay, where we at, Tim?
Well, I'm talking right here in this room. I call it the madam's room because the madam would have stayed here, and that would have been the bigger room for all of her girls. She could have had all her women in the lounge room.
Oh, the old dentist office.
And then the dentist office would have been his office going back to where they operate on people, worked on people in the back right there. It's just connected. So we came through. And I'm sorry it's still in construction. But
Oh, that's okay.
we're tearing down trying to put back.
That is okay. Thank you for letting us come in and see it and interrupt your process here.
Slow process, Mike. We're getting there slowly.
All right, where to from here, Tim?
All right, let's tell you what. We'll go back through our building, then we'll go up the back steps to the second and third floor because I got some interesting facts about the second floor. I guess that's what makes up the difference.
On the way over, this is Buster Brown.
Yeah, on the way over, that's Buster Brown. And when he came and visited Mount City with my grandpa, great-grandpa Nineveh. So this was a popular town back in the 20s and 30s when it was the bean capital of the world.
It's headed back that way now.
I think it is too.
You folks that watch our channel know what that car is. Comment down below and let us know.
Hey, that's right. Let me know. Tell me what year it is.
Across the store. I think this is so neat right here.
The scales, get your horoscope for a nickel. You can get your weight and your horoscope.
Nowhere else can you do that. And Karen, look, the stage is set for some bluegrass music. Did you know it?
We've had some people performing here.
Here's this big.
There's one of the local kids in the towns in the 20s sitting and Buster Brown used this as their advertisement, their print ad.
Love this room too. And the jukebox over there.
Made in 1952, and we had classic vinyls on it too. All 45s original. So let's go upstairs, take a look.
All
Like I said, I got a couple surprises.
Okay.
It'll take us a minute to get there.
All right.
Now,
Put it
Mike,
right here.
right here, this, if you'll turn around, this opening right here, right behind Karen, used to be the original opening to get to the second floor of this building. The door you're walking through right now did not exist.
Look at this thing, Karen.
Now, I believe
How wide is that?
it might be 40 inches. There's another door up here that's 40 inches wide.
Okay.
Is this, Mike, I asked you viewers another question. This particular color. I think I knew what it is. Let's see if they know what it is.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Hey, put in the comment, let me know what it is. Me and Mike have had a discussion about the color, but we're kind of curious what you think it is. All right. Now, we'll go into this portion, that takes another portion.
Yeah.
This was, back in the day, this was the entrance. You saw the entrance coming up the steps, coming upstairs. Back in the early 20s till about the mid 60s, this was the telephone office in town.
Oh.
And the ladies operated in the telephone office. This is the hallway they had to go to work.
When did you say what years?
I think it was, by my signs on the picture down there, is like in the 20s or 30s, going to the mid 60s.
Okay.
The telephone office was in this building, then they moved it back behind me in the next building.
Okay.
So they had to come down the hallway.
What's your head?
Well, these ceilings aren't as tall.
No, they're not. Check out the walls. They put these windows up for transient lighting. So they didn't have lights back then. So they just had big windows on the other side that allowed the natural light to come through for the access to the hallway.
From the windows over there?
From the windows on the street side.
Very
But
nice.
it's interesting. And so
It
I
is.
copied that same format downstairs, if you noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And up front,
Love these floors too.
used to be, these are the ladies that worked here. And their machine was set up right here, and their backs would be to us, and they could look out the window
Oh, what a
and see what was going on.
look at this view
At one
again.
particular time, I've been told by one operator, there's 3 operators still alive. One's in their 90s, and the 2 are in their 70s. They used to
Really?
work here. Okay, they told me that one time there was a gentleman calling for his dad. His dad, she rang his office across the street. He wasn't there. She saw him pass on the street. She threw open the window. You can see the windows opened up right here in these pictures.
Yeah.
Opened up. She threw open the window and said, "Hey, your son's wanting you." Called him by name. "Your son's wanting you. Go into the bank. I'll ring you in there." So he went into the bank and she rang him into the
Oh
bank.
yeah. What about that?
Now, I heard it from the operator and I heard it from the son. He told me the story.
Here's their names. You may know some of these folks.
Windows that came out of these windows on the side. All these windows came
okay.
out. We've had to take them out because they're not energy efficient. They were just letting air blow
Okay.
out. And look, Karen can stand in this window. That's how tall.
That's what I was getting at.
Look
Look
how
at
tall the
that.
windows are.
Yeah.
And this
I
is the
just
second
love.
floor.
I just love this view. Look at this light right here, Karen. The detail on that. This is where my office would be.
You see the sign that says "No right turn here" on red going from your left to right. Well, it used to have the sign hanging up on the corner right here. When you're going up North Church Street, you couldn't turn left on the main street. No left turn allowed. Because back in the day, traffic was so busy in this town that you had to go up one block, go up another block past King B, turn around and come back down. It'd take you almost 2 hours to cruise it at night. So they wouldn't let
Really?
a left-hand turn come. Now, the way it's set up, that was the lady in charge, Miss Bozeman, who was in charge of the telephone office. That was her office, and it was petitioned off right back there. That was her office. This was where the machine set up, the switchboard set up. And if you go in this room, this is where Miss Bozeman and her daughter lived for a long time. They kept their housekeeping in here. This is their living room and everything.
Well, they didn't have to go far to work, did they?
No, they didn't have to because, you realize, Mike, and Karen, that they had to have somebody on staff at all times for the telephone.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to live here in case it rained. One could get up.
Even in the middle of the night.
Even in the middle of the night, in case there's an emergency. And one last story about the window. The police officer used to sit across the street at the angle, and there was a call box over there in case somebody called him and needed the police. She could see if he was sitting right there and call him on the call box.
Out the window.
Out the window, or yell out the window, or call him and say, hey, somebody such and such won't need you. So that's interesting facts. That's what my telephone operators have told me about. Look, I love the wavy glass. If any way you can get the wavy glass on the doors to show you how the age of the doors. See how they're wavy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure it's coming across.
I don't know, but the way, I mean, just to see the wavy glass.
Yeah. Karen is our lighting person. Y'all,
She's our lighting technician.
Yeah.
y'all that's worth hitting that like button. All right.
Going down the hallway, check out the writing on the wall. I just love it. How neat writing they were. And you'll say, oh, anybody can write that neat. Well, let's walk over here, down here, and see this one. And look at the date on this one, Mike and Karen.
Wow, 1917.
March 30th, 1917.
Wow.
That's
Pretty
something.
interesting.
Everett Chris.
March 30th.
That's been a minute or two.
That
hasn't
has
it?
been, it's passed some time.
Yeah.
I love the low ceilings, but you got to realize, look how thick the walls are.
Wow.
This is the wall they had to build, especially custom make the doors. There's your nice, everybody remembers the porcelain sinks that used to be in the elementary schools back in the day.
Yeah.
There you go. And then there's another one of those commodes.
What
And
about
this
that?
This is their facilities here when they were in the telephone office.
Yeah.
All right, now I've got one more floor to go, and I don't really have a history on this second floor, but I got some neat little things to show you upstairs.
Okay.
Here's your 40-inch door, Mike.
Oh,
Here's
wow.
your
Yeah,
solid 40-inch door.
Look at that, folks.
And then check out the trim work in this room. It's all mahogany. All the casings where the windows were are mahogany. Now, two things I like to show you. Check out this door. This is probably the best looking door I've ever seen.
Look at that.
It just fits. I'm assuming if these are mahogany, that's going to be mahogany.
It's not pine, I don't think.
Then check out the outside window.
Wow.
Right here in between the buildings.
And in between the buildings, when it was originally the outside before they added on this addition to it. And then, Karen, I gotta ask you. I know Mike has. I don't know if you have. Have you ever seen witches' steps?
No.
Well, here are witches' steps. Now that's something your viewers can talk about. Mike is witches' steps.
Why do they call them witches' steps?
Because they're offset. The witches were supposedly not able to walk up. They can walk up normal steps, but they couldn't get up alternating steps.
Oh.
Witches' steps.
Witches' steps. Your viewers might have another name for that.
Yeah, folks, let us know if you. Here's another big wide door in between the two buildings.
Yes, it is. I just love it for the fact that it has turnbuckles. It goes from the second floor through the rafters of the third floor. Mm-hmm. But you'll notice that the boards, the joists are mortised and tinned together.
Okay, yeah, I see that right there.
And then you can see on, wait a minute, a couple of them where they pinned them.
What's the plans on this?
This plans on, see that here's the back side of those sleepers.
Oh, yeah, I see the pin up there.
See it?
Yeah.
Now, plans up here is one, you'll see I've taken down the ceiling. I'm partially taking down the ceiling. I'm going to go above these joists, put my ceiling, insulate it, and make this an Airbnb. And make it open space. Put a couple of partitions here. You thought the views of the other two was good. You got to check out these views. Oh, don't look at my handiwork. We're the handyman we're the handyman.
What we got here,
previously.
Tim? You've been working overtime up here, haven't
That
you?
was handyman's previous. I found those pulling down the rafters, pulling down the slats in the rafters.
That's a 1978. That one don't have a date on it. Keystone. The view. Oh boy, that's something.
Such a pretty view of the mountains.
And now, when you come up to this one, when I take open the boards from these windows, you'll have a pretty much about a 270-degree view around here.
When you
and
make it,
when you make it, and you'll notice this building. That's for your inside of your chimney. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the inside of the chimney.
Tim, tell me about the elevator in the store over here real quick.
Show them I think you can see it right here. Music Hardware has a freight elevator. It was the first elevator in Mountain City. First known elevator in Mountain City. Now, one of your viewers might know a different one, but I know this is the first one. So welcome to my house. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is, I call it my toy. This is my playhouse.
Those of you that didn't catch the first video, Tim is a retired educator.
All right, here's our color again, ladies and gentlemen.
Bob in Jonesboro, our tour guide, Tim. If he watches this, he'll tell us what this is. He knows.
Good. Hey, again.
And tell us why it's that color. Okay, we are headed outside.
As we talked about earlier, as you came down, if you look at the grade level of the building, it goes down and keeps on going. But when these are dirt floors, there's actually 2 steps. There was a water fountain here on this side. They moved it since across the street.
Oh yeah, I see it over
From the
there.
bank. It was on this side, but you could go down 2 steps here, turn the corner, then you can go down a set of steps where the barbershop was.
We got a picture inside. We'll show them.
Yes. And I'll show them the picture, and it's about right in here. About
So your goal is to replace all those windows.
My goal is to replace all those windows so it be visible for the Airbnb on the 1st and 2nd floors. And I talked about the telephone office upstairs. When it moved to where the Tomahawk office is right now. Beside the Tomahawk office where the telephone office was, that was where the barbershop is currently located, was the old bus station. Here, it didn't know about the bus station. In between the bus station and my building on the right, actually was where all the taxis parked. During the peak time,
up the alley.
The little alley.
Let's walk down here.
Let's walk down here. There were 13 taxis at one point in Mountain City, back in their days, and all they did was parked here in this little alley right here on the right-hand side, right there. That's where they parked.
What kind of bus station was
Just
it?
the Greyhound bus station
Like a
come through,
Greyhound.
and they had their set schedule, and they'd take you from here to Bristol, pick you up, and bring you back. My store, this building, and the bank are only 3 stores in town that have a basement. The 4th store used to have a basement, was sitting right here on the corner. It was Blackburn's grocery store. It had there's 4 of us had a basement.
Here, folks, there's a Coke machine. There's a quarterling right there. That's for a free Coke? Is that what that's for, Tim?
I don't know.
No?
We can find it, but how many times has your viewers ever reached into one of these and busted their knuckles because they didn't put enough money in it? Or they didn't pull it right and it scraped their knuckles?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I was going to show you on the picture about the stoop going down to the barbershop and the clothing store. It's right here in this particular picture. And you see across the street, that it is bankrupt. It's a bank right now.
Right. Oh yeah, you can see the steps going down. The guy sitting on the railing there.
And barely in this picture, you can see the edge of the bank when the windows were still at the bank, right?
Oh, okay.
Right here on the right, and that's my building. And see the big power lines going into the telephone office right there on the 2nd floor.
Oh yeah, I see that. Let me get that there. Yeah. Look at those cars. I wonder what year this would be.
I don't know. Now look on this particular picture, a view of Main Street from the top of where you saw the elevator, on the 2nd floor from where you saw the elevator. Here's my building.
Oh, okay, on the left
and
over
this
there.
is before, look, they had trees before all the commercial spaces on the other side of the road. These are all houses going up and down the street.
And that's close by the pharmacy.
And one other thing, Mike, before you leave, let me show you where it used to be. Rexall had their soda fountain machine on this side. Up on the picture. I don't remember if I showed it last time.
And it's set right here along this wall?
Right here along this wall and went to the door, and there's the pass-through for the kitchens over on that wall.
Okay.
And the markings for the stools people sit in are right here. There's the markings for the stools. Mike, you just asked about what these holes in the floors right here with the rings around it. These are actually, this was the original side where the soda fountain was.
Okay.
Because at the time when the soda fountain was here, there was a Western Auto store there. Then it became Bill Elder's Appliance, and then there was a piano store there. Okay. Then after that, Rexall expanded from here to what we just showed you a minute ago over on that wall where that fountain machine was. There's actually 13 stool markings over here, and there's only 6 here. So they expanded it. And our rumor is around 61, 62, somebody drove through the front doors and busted it.
Really?
Yeah, so that's one of the rumors.
Hey y'all, we met some friends of the channel here in Mountain City, Tennessee. If y'all want to tell us your first names and where you're from.
Rita
And Joey, we're from Abingdon, Virginia.
Abingdon, Virginia.
Yeah, so,
Here at Locals Deli.
yeah, visiting because they saw our first Mountain City review and video. So they're up here visiting Mountain City.
we can't wait to try.
Yeah.
And they want to meet Big T, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming along, guys, here in Mountain City and Locals Deli with Tim Payne. It's been another interesting, historic tour.
Yes.
That's
For
great,
sure.
man. All the history, I love it.
Thanks, Mike and Karen.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
And we'll link the first Mountain City video in the corner at the bottom, so that, or the top right, I guess, so that if you didn't catch that one, you can go back and see it.
Y'all comment down below. Tell Tim thanks, and
Thank you.
let's see, how can folks find you here online?
We just go to, if you Google me at Locals Deli, it'll show up here.
Okay.
And you can see what my hours are.
Yeah.
And you go from there. We're here. Anybody want to come in and look at it? I'm working upstairs. It's work under progress, Mike and Karen, until I get it finished.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's going to be available to the public.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you.
Tim, so much.
Thank you all
Appreciate
for
it.
coming. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Yeah.